Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'll be discussing to you some of the common questions asked during research proposal defense. This video is useful for students who will be having their research proposal soon. I know you're ready, so let's begin. In this discussion, I have divided it into three: background, conceptual framework, and methodology. Here, I will be posing questions that your panel might ask under under background, and their conceptual framework, and their methodology. In this video, by knowing the possible questions, you will be able to prepare possible answers to ace the presentation. Under background, one of your panels might ask, why did you choose this to study? Or tatanungin nila, bakit ito ang napili niyong topic? Sa dami-dami ng pwedeng study or research sa paligid, bakit ito ang napili nyo? Here, you should answer this question by explaining to them the purpose of your study. Ano ba yung gusto nyong mangyari? Okay, bakit nyo gustong malaman ang study na yan? Or bakit gusto nyong ma-elaborate, matuto sa study na yan? Halimbawa, ang topic natin ay the serve ko to mindset and its impact to students' purchasing decision. Here, kailangan mong ma-establish na gusto kasi naming maintindihan kung ano yung mga impact ng pagkakaroon ng deserve ko to mindset sa pagbili, paggasta ng mga estudyante ng kanilang mga baon or pera. Pwede nyo ring sagutin ito by establishing the objective. Ano ba yung gusto nyong ma-establish dito? Ano ba yung end goal nyo? So una, maaaring sabihin nyo, malaman yung impact, kung paano masolusyonan or kung paano maiwasan yung pagkakaroon ng deserve ko to mindset kung sa pag-study nyo ay negative yung impact niya. And also, you might as well answer this question by posing the benefits. Sino bang makikinabang sa study nyo? Halimbawa, after studying the effects of the serve ko to mindset sa pagbili ng mga students ng mga bagay-bagay, online man yan or sa shops, sino magbe-benefit ng study? So, halimbawa mga students para maiwasan ang paggasto nila. Parang ganun siguro, pwede. Or yung mga teachers on how they could teach their students to be financially literate or kung paano nila i-manage, paano i-manage ng mga students ang kanilang finances, mga ganun. Okay? Or, pwede rin na you will answer this question by giving them research gap. Paano ba yung research gap? Research gap, ito yung mga bagay na, ito yung mga research areas na sa pagbabasa ninyo ng mga related literatures ay wala kayong nakitang gantong research. Kaya ngayon, para magkaroon naman ng idea yung ibang tao tungkol sa pagkakaroon ng deserve ko to mindset, since sa tingin ninyo wala pang nakakandak ng study na yun or dahil sa mga previous na researches, walang nag-focus sa pagkakaroon ng deserve ko to mindset sa pagbili or impact ng pagbili ng mga students, online man yan or sa shop. So yun, pwedeng research gap ang reason. Or pwede rin na, pwede nyong sabihin na to add existing knowledge. Kasi nga, kung sa tingin ninyo wala pang nagkakandak ng study nito, malamang you are adding or the purpose of your research is to add existing knowledge tungkol sa impact ng pagbili ng mga students. Ano yung mga bagay na nakaka-influence sa kanila to buy. Okay? Ayan. And your panels might ask, what have other researchers have found? Halimbawa, sabihin natin na yung mga related literatures na nilagay ninyo ay may kinalaman sa pagbili or purchasing power, purchasing decisions ng students. Here, you have to tell them the related literatures. Malamang, ang dami-dami nyong na-research tungkol sa mga factors, mga impact, nag-influence sa pag-purchase, pagbili ng mga students. Here, pwede nyong i-elaborate yun by explaining it to them. Ano yung mga na-find out ng mga previous researchers or researchers sa topic na to. And so, by your study, you will be giving, another or additional information to these findings of previous researchers. All right? And last, maaring one of your panels might ask, what is the significance of your study? Ito yung pinakamahalagang tanong. Ang tanong niya kasi is, research ba to? Okay, you have to understand that. Kailangan bang gamitin natin yung utak natin, yung oras natin, magsayang tayo ng pagkakataon, ng sakripisyo sa topic na napili nyo? Sabi nga nila, ka-research ba to? So here, you have to answer it by providing the importance. Okay? Bakit mahalaga na i-studyhin natin ang topic na to? So of course, meron kayong iba-ibang dahilan. Halimbawa, sa topic natin na deserve ko to, the mindset of having this mindset, okay? And kung ano yung impact niya sa purchasing decisions. So dito, mahalaga na malaman natin para for us to identify kung marami ba sa mga students ang nakakapag-manage ng kanilang finances na hindi nagpapadala sa bugso ng damdamin nila and so on. So para mas maintindihan natin yung mga reasons as to why students purchase this. Mga ganon. Okay? So here you have to establish the importance. Bakit siya dapat nire-research? Alright? Next, we have conceptual framework. Here, they might ask, what concepts or theories did you use in your study? And what are the relationships or connections of these theories or concepts in your research? Here, you will be able to answer this by providing them the concepts or theories that you use in your conceptual framework. And also by understanding really what are the things or concepts that you have included under the related literature. So if you want really to know more about a conceptual framework and to explain further about the connection of these concepts, you might want to check my other video about how to make a conceptual framework. Okay? So basically dito kailangan nyo lang explain sa kanila ano yung connection ng mga concepts na iyon. Halimbawa, balikan natin yung topic natin na deserve ko to mindset and its impact to students purchasing decisions. So here, pwede nyo explain paano nakaka-impluensya yung having mindset to the purchasing decision of students. Alright? Now we're down to the last part, which is methodology. Here, there are three things or questions that your panels might ask. First, who are your participants or respondents and why? So, sasabihin nila, bakit sila ang participants nyo, ano yung mga factors, mga reasons, mga influences, bakit sila ang napili yung respondents or participants. Here, to answer this, you have to describe your respondents or the reasons why you chose them to be your participants, as well as the process of choosing your participants. Here, you have to explain to them ano ba yung mga criteria or guidelines na ginamit ninyo for you to be able to pinpoint or to choose these participants or respondents. Next, they might ask, how will you collect your data? Paano kayo mangolekta ng data? Here, you have to tell them the data collection procedure. Specifically, will you use interview? If you're going to use an interview, how will you conduct the interview? Okay, or if you're going to conduct a survey, how will you conduct a survey? Okay, or saan gawa yung questionnaire nyo? Inadapt nyo ba yung questionnaires nyo or you personally crafted these questions? Next, how will you interpret your data? So after collecting data, what will you do? How will you make sense? How you interpret? How will you discuss the results, or how you are going to explain how are going to analyze the data you have collected in your data collection procedure? So here, if you are going to use qualitative research, most likely what you're going to do is to do thematic analysis. If you want to know more about how thematic analysis works, meron akong separate video for you to check on. And if you're going to use tables and graphs, of course, you have to add there the interpretations, explanations of these tables or graphs. Okay, so there you have it. Thank you for watching. I hope that I was able to help you in your preparations. If you have some questions, you may comment down below. Thank you and take care. Bye.